No?
No, eh?
Yeah, we're good. Anyways,
Okay, it's working.
okay. Should we do another go, or should we just carry on?
Carry on,
All
carry on.
right.
All right,
All
we
right.
got it. We
Anyways,
got it.
We're in
There you
business.
go.
okay. So let's just backpedal. All
Teamwork is
right.
king.
Just back. We'll just take this back a little bit and pretend that never happened. So that was a song by Twin Peaks. Yeah, you can hear me laugh in the background. Someone's got their audio on still. That's super distracting. Um,
Bigger.
yeah, sorry.
Come on, man, you're driving the bus.
I'm super distracted by the audio from the stream. So, anyways, song by Twin Peaks. This is Zenith Online Racing. I am Arebigga. Alongside me tonight for the season review, we've got PuffDigital,
Hello.
Doth Thou Hoist,
What's going on?
and the newest addition to the commentary team, Kadi Damas. All right, so sorry about that massive bungle there. So what I was doing was watching the stream so that I could kind of commentate while we were doing our little review thing, but then I could hear my audio coming through my headset, and it was like, oh, I cannot focus whatsoever. I was like, how do I fix this? But anyways, now that we got everybody's attention, and we've completely kiboshed the entire intro, um, we are here tonight to do a little bit of a season review. We're going to wrap things up. We're gonna talk about everything that happened in the past season with Tier One, and the addition of Tier Two as well. It was our first season with a second tier, so we'll go over a little bit of that and review a bit of how the season went, some of the storylines through the season, trends, some fun stats that we pulled from mining the standings and whatnot. And yeah, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how Zenith Online Racing started. It was basically it was me and Puff. We're racing together. We're playing F1. We do online championships, just race the AI. And after a while, we just got so good at it that we were getting bored. We were getting bored racing the AI because it was too predictable. It was too easy to get by them. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
it was just lacking that like real racing experience. So now I can hear us again. Um, someone just checking the audio there. But so anyway, I decided I'm like, you know what? Let's just make our own league. Most of the leagues out here they have stupid rules. I don't like the rules. I'm gonna make my own. And I decided to post on Reddit, and we ended up gathering I think 5 or 6 guys right within the first day or two. Me and Puff were like, I can't believe we already have like 7 guys. Like this is crazy. Like it just took off. And it's something that it happened pretty quick, and it was about this time last year I think when we had our first race. So this is probably around the first birthday of Zenith Online Racing. So happy birthday to us. Yay.
I'll,
Yay.
I'll,
You
I'll
guys are
check to
supposed
see
to
what my
clap or
Reddit.
something.
I'll check to see what my Reddit cake day is because I created my Doth Reddit account for this. So
Oh,
we'll
Wow.
see.
that's a fun fact we didn't mind at
There
all.
we
There we
go.
go. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, we had a pretty good response in the first day or two, so we decided we were going to roll with it, and we're like, you know what, we've already got enough guys that's worth racing anyway. Let's just get it going. So we started the league up, and I think it was 3-4 races later I think we had 14, 15 drivers.
Yeah.
We ran with 14, 15 drivers for most of that first season, and then we started to kind of fill out the roster towards the end. People, found our post from a month or two ago and decided they wanted to join, and we ended up creating this little community. And yeah, we had a lot of compliments about how it was run and how clean it was, and how we try to take everybody's opinion with us when we make decisions, and that made me feel like, okay, so this is something people appreciate. So why don't we try to grow this a little bit? And that was why we decided to open up that second tier. We had a few drivers kind of knocking at the door. We were already full. So we decided, okay, let's start another tier and let's recruit and see if we can get enough guys. And it just so happened that another league had previously a few weeks prior had just folded. So there was a bunch of drivers in limbo. One of the guys that we raced with knew them and decided to bring them over. So we kind of had this tier 2 roster just sort of implode right in front of us. Like there was suddenly just a full grid. And a lot of these guys knew each other from the previous league, and they all raced together really well. So, yeah, that's kind of where we came from, and it's only been one whole year so far, which is really hard to believe. It feels like we've come so far from where we started. I can't believe it's only been 365 days. So I just want to say thanks to everyone who's listening, everybody who's raced with us, who isn't racing with us anymore and has raced with us. You guys were part of this. Like you were the foundation and helped build this. So really appreciate all that. And tonight we're gonna go. We're gonna look back at the past 2 seasons from each tier, and then we're gonna go into some other stuff moving forward. And I'll let Puff explain that a little bit more about what we've got on deck for tonight.
Yeah, just to kind of build off what you're saying, it's a bit of a celebration kind of the success we've had as a league in general, just kind of a fun way to recognize the storylines, interesting races that we've had from the past season. A lot of exciting things happened on track. So we'll start with that. We'll briefly go through both Monday and Thursday nights leagues, highlighting good performances, specific drivers, the title fights, how those all ended up finishing. And then we're going to go through awards, something we did for our Monday night guys after our first season, and we have introduced for our Thursday night guys, a nice little fun way to kind of recognize the accomplishments, not only on track, but also kind of in our Discord, just good community members, guys who kind of help make this what it is. And then we have a couple reveals. We have a new race schedule for Monday and Thursday, and new teams. So a few secrets that we've been keeping. We will reveal those, which should be fun. No one knows yet except for the admin team, so it'll be exciting. Finally, we'll do a conclusion with a bit of a preview of next season, just kind of storylines to watch out for, potential constructors winners, title fights, defenses, things like that. But mostly I think we're just here to have some fun tonight, and yeah, we got cars racing, and it'll be good.
And on that note,
and yes, there'll be a few drinks to be had as well.
it's Puff, I swear.
We'll throw it over to Daw, Caddy, either one of you want to add, fill in.
Yeah. If you guys have thoughts to share.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you guys for having me along here and stuff, and I think you guys kind of covered everything. I think we're excited for the big reveal about some of these the driver changes as well as the schedule, because sometimes you mix it up a little bit with the schedule, and you may have people who could be in the fight who weren't necessarily in the fight last year, and that maybe floats them to a championship battle, and this could be just another. You just never know. So we shall see where this goes.
yeah, a nice
Smack the wall
wrinkle to the title fight, though. No, I know what you mean, because at least for me, with the race schedule as it is, another massive crash.
That was the big one, I guess. Obviously, you guys are watching live. I'm just watching the stream, so I'm a little behind. And now.
But but no, there's certain parts of the schedule that I really look forward to. Can't remember specifically, but that stretch from like Austria to Spa, I think, is one I always look forward to, and we won't get that this year. It'll be different, you know what I mean? So, I'll throw it over to Caddy, newest addition to the team, also racing for us on Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be competitive. Obviously, we don't really know the full roster yet. Something we'll get into at some point. But Yeah, I mean, it's been great having you along with us. The first time I ever tuned in and listened to you do a broadcast, I was like, man, this guy's really good. And then, lo and behold, here you are doing our league now, and I'm glad you appreciate the racing here. It's something we really, really, wanted to make sure was, um, it was like the top priority was that the racing was clean and the guys, everybody treated each other with respect because you see these other leagues out there, and it's just sometimes it's just unbearable. It's like so cringy. You don't want to be part of it, And you're like, I just want good racing, and the rest of this drama, I could live without. And I'm glad we don't have any of that here. So yeah, yeah, yeah. It's interesting because it feels like we sort of lucked our way into this dynamic that we have here. I don't really understand how we ended up with so many drivers that are so close competitive, but it feels like we all, because we've all been racing together for a while, that we're all pushing each other. So, some people have
Yeah.
closed the gaps to the faster guys, and some guys have grown their gaps as faster drivers and gotten away from those midfield guys that were trying to nip at their heels. So, what we've got now is this league where everybody's pushing each other and everybody talks and everybody tries to help each other in a way. And we've ended up with this really respectful competitive racing, and it's honestly something that I'm really really happy about. Like I can't I could have never imagined it going this well. Never.
I don't mean to cut across you guys. Caddy, maybe you're on, or is your like personal mic on mute or something? Because according
Yeah.
to some of our viewers,
No one can
you're
hear
struggling
you.
to hear you. So, okay, no problem.
Yeah,
So,
just
Is it
honestly
just
one.
Caddy, or are
no,
they
just
hearing?
Caddy.
Just Caddy.
Oh,
Okay.
well, so, all right. So now, what's the first thing on the agenda? What are we going with
Well,
first?
the first thing on the agenda is to review season tier
2.
one, the season review.
Yeah.
So the first thing we should talk about is obviously PuffDigital. He is the current champion. He is also the defending champion. Um, really rough start to the Arebigga for Puff there. Looks like we are hanging out in the party here.
Yeah.
We've lost our
No, all
race feed,
good.
but that's okay. No, it's something that we need to do.
All good.
It just totally distracted me because it's super yellow. Um, the whole room's yellow now. Okay, so but Puff's rough start to the season, something that I think everybody was surprised by. It was obviously a little bit of bad luck and a little bit of just not great driving. The first race, Australia, I think you finished fifth and I finished sixth, Puff. Um,
Yeah. Um,
and then obviously Bahrain, you disconnected. Obviously your internet went down, and there's nothing you can do about that. That's just pure bad luck. You were winning that race too,
yep. No,
and
it was tough. It was.
How has being a defending champion affected your Tinder profile? These are the hard hitting
This is
questions that
what,
the
yeah, this
people
is
want
what everyone
answers
wants
to.
to know.
Like, come on, like, do you put it on your Tinder profile? Are you asking girls to? Are you looking for the Lando to your Carlos? Like, come on, like
well,
this is what we got to know here.
If anyone who knows me, who doesn't, who's outside of the league, knows I do not have Tinder or any social media actually. But if I were to get Tinder, the first thing that I would put in my bio would be 2-time ZOR champion. And
yeah.
if that didn't work, I don't really know what I would resort to. But
I'll have you know that I put constructors champion in Tinder bio as soon as it was official, and I've been getting laid every day since. So I don't know about you guys, but it works. We don't do all this virtual driving for nothing.
no, it's for chicks. Like most
Yeah,
every other
obviously,
thing I do in life.
like all the virtual chicks, right? Like those Twitch girls, man. That's it's better than the grid girls. Uh, Yoss knows. Um, but yeah, so obviously, and then China was a crazy race. I mean, for you and me, it was raining, and we just took off. Like when we were gone, no one was near us, and you thought it was time to switch over. You decided to go in and put on sensors. I decided to stay out, and ultimately it paid off because you just started losing time as soon as you came out of the pits.
Yep.
Yeah, so
So I
it probably
managed to
started
win a
rating
race.
what, like three-quarters of the way through? give or take.
Yeah.
So it's kind
Nah,
of
it was
right
about
at the
halfway, I think.
kind of right near the switch point where if you were on a one-stop strategy, you had to either kind of make a jump to the inters or you'd have to pit again for another hard. And so
Well,
the people who chose inters, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I had pit and I was set to go to the end. I think I was on the
Ah,
what
you're
was
on
it,
the
a
hards.
medium hard strategy? I think I
Yeah,
ran.
that's what we did, yeah.
Yeah, because I had pace. China personally is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. I just love it, everything about it. Um, and I feel untouchable there almost sometimes. But yeah, so I was running the the medium to hard strategy, and I could have made it to the end, but I think I was about just under a pit stop ahead of Bigga actually when I pit. And I figured I could make up the difference, seeing as it was raining. But as soon as I came out of the pit lane, I knew it was the wrong decision. I couldn't keep the car straight. I was sliding all over the place. And then it just became damage limitation. I think I only ended up finishing like less than a second ahead of Gruesome.
Yeah, it was pretty nip and tuck.
Yeah.
Um, well, since we are at the track, Baku, you ended up sixth there, I believe.
Yeah.
Um,
Another
yeah, not
unfortunate
another.
race. I got it happened obviously racing, but I got hit from behind while I was in the lead. And it just threw me off. I fell down the order, and like we were saying earlier, the competitive nature of the league just didn't doesn't allow for mistakes like that. So I'm not able to
No,
make up a 20-second gap on
nor does the castle section.
yeah yeah on any
so
of the drivers. So
you've also got fourth in Spain, and then DNF in Monaco. So I mean, right there, we're six races into the season, and you've had really one good finish. Um,
yeah
second place, right? I mean, even that you should have had a win. And it was just, I remember at that point in the season talking to you, and you were just like, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but it's going my way. And I was like, that's just racing sometimes. It's like how it goes. So I think we had, Gruesome had 3 wins going into Canada. Puff had 0. 40, you had 48 points, Puff, and Gruesome had 100. So I mean, already there was a massive gap there, um, and that's heading into Canada. So another thing to point out heading into Canada is Doth, third in the championship at the end of the season, only had 20 points heading into Canada.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it just got just some bad luck and whatnot with with my wheel and my job and everything. But it's I mean, look, it's why there's 21 races in a season, so you have time to kind of fight through all of this stuff. But
yeah, you guys getting some feedback there or something? I don't know what it is. It sounds like
yeah
a show, or it sounds like a movie or a TV show or something.
I'm getting weird audio cues. Caddy, do
Yeah.
you wanna talk a bit, see if the others can hear you yet? You
Yeah, I
can,
think it's
yeah.
your mic. Yeah, I think it's on your end. There's some
yeah,
weird audio I can hear, like a lot of like white noise
yeah.
almost or something.
Yeah.
How to explain it really? Yeah, I was just gonna say we should
There you
pop the
go.
standings up there and all right, sounds good. I think it's just picking up your TV or something in the background. There's something back like that I'm hearing. I don't know what it is. Maybe a roommate. I don't know.
All right, so apparently, so
Peak professionalism, boys.
what you guys can't hear in the background is that Caddy just asked somebody's like, "Hey, can I borrow your headset?"
So it's definitely a roommate. Yeah,
So
maybe his roommate's watching TV or something. His mic might be too loud now. That might be the problem.
Yeah, it's picking up too much
Yeah,
almost.
it's like it's picking up his whole house. Uh, so there's the standings. All right. You see the constructors, Red Bull on top, 502 points. Obviously, we had a massive lead by the end.
Beautiful graphics. Just a quick shout out to RC.
Yeah, fourth
Well
place
done.
there.
They look
Edged me out by a
amazing.
point in the last race there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Third through fifth there. I mean, that was a
yeah.
battle.
Oh yeah, even Fuzz isn't that far off. Had he raced the last. mean tier two,
Nope.
yeah, we gotta get
Yeah,
on to tier
nobody's
two.
gonna
Yeah.
tune in for that long. Like, so.
So we're good. We're back.
Working on it.
Mean tier two. There we go. Yeah, we're good.
Cool.
Okay, we'll turn that back down. Get back to the document here. Make sure that we're following our order a little bit. So yeah, we did spend a lot of time talking about Tier 1 season. What we can do is talk about that a little bit more towards the end. But so let's move on to Tier 2. We'll talk about what happened there. We'll kind of touch on a little bit of the trends there with the season. Um, we can always go back and talk about Tier 1 if we have time at the end, but we want to make sure that we roll out the announcements in regards to the schedule and the team before the end of the night. So on to Tier 2. The funny thing about the champion of Tier 2, Aerostrike, was not there for the first race. He wasn't even in the league. Very well could have been without Aero all season. We started this division, as I mentioned earlier, just with extra drivers. They were looking for seats, so we found another league that was folding. So brought all those guys in, and suddenly we had a whole tier. The second race was the real start of the season for Tier 2. That's Aero wins. T-Money comes in third, just behind Ginnett in second. So right there is your three contenders for the championship there. So it was sort of established early on that we sort of had our three top dogs. You see Axton actually finished ahead of Ginnett towards the end of the season, something we'll discuss in a bit, but Axton had a really good tear through the end of the season there. He made a lot of progress. A lot of really good finishes for Axton at the end there. Something to mention, Jinnit crashing in China, so obviously that put him on the back foot early. But I believe he was very fast there. Also, we still knew that he would always be a threat for the title. Um, the next two races, we got Arrow finishing in second behind T Money, and then Ginnett finishing in third in both those races. So already now heading into Monaco, we've got this clear top three fighting for the title, and it sort of carried on like that for most of the season. So Monaco is something we want to touch on just briefly here. GP Colin came out of nowhere in Monaco. We did see some pace from him earlier in the season, but suddenly GP Colin just came in there, blitzed it, he took pole position, led the race, took off, left everybody in the dust, and until recently, we didn't really know, but it was a very emotional night for GB Colin. He was definitely driving with a lot of heartache that night, and it was just exceptional to see such an incredible performance from somebody who was carrying so much pain with them out on the track. So, just big ups to GB Colin there for actually showing up, and then even more so for just dominating that race. That was a hell of a performance.
Yeah, it was a touching moment. I had reached out to him and asked whether or not he would mind if we had talked about it on stream, and he said it was okay. So I just want to take a moment to really appreciate kind of one, how impressive it is to win at Monaco in general, and two, just to give him some recognition for showing up, considering everything that was going on with him. So um, amazing race, GP Colin. You earned it. And it was well done.
Caddy's working on a novel over there. Um, but yeah, no, yeah, you actually just said one sentence there, right? Yeah. All right, so yeah, obviously a very emotional race for GP Colin. Um, Jinnit followed up that victory of GB Collins with his own victory in Canada, which is definitely one of the strongest tracks he raced with us in Tier 1. So we wouldn't have a Tier 1 stream from that night just because Jinnit was actually on the track with us. And he just kind of kicked our asses, to be honest. Wasn't even
Yeah,
close.
really kicked our asses.
Yeah. So watch
But
out in Canada this year. Jinnit is a big threat there.
funny enough, though, not to go back to T1, but that is where I felt like my season turned around. Aside from losing by over 30 seconds to Jinnit, I felt good. It was my first podium of the season, I think, or second rather. But um, yeah, Sorry to interject, but
Yeah, no worries. And then obviously from Canada, we had Arrow winning 5 in a row from France to Hungary. I think that was the point of the season where it was just like, oh, Arrow wins again. What do you know? Like, I mean, he really was dominant. But if you look at the standings here, quite early, quite early um, for the championship. I think we were probably in 3, 4 races left. We were thinking, okay, Arrow's pretty much locked this up. Like, T Money's not going to catch him. But still, if you look at where they finish here, Arrow with 401 points, T Money with 311. He's still not that far off considering how dominant Arrow was. Like, T Money was right there. Like, if Arrow was to make a
yeah.
mistake, T Money would have inherited that win. And that
I
would have
mean,
been at least a few races through the year for sure.
just an aside, Arrow finished on the podium every single race that he participated in, aside from Spa, where he DNF'd, his only DNF of the season. So
Yeah.
that's what,
And then,
19 races, I think,
yeah,
finishing
it's pretty damn impressive.
on the podium, which is
And
a
then
level of consistency no one else has been able to replicate.
Yeah, and then from Austria to Italy, Ginnet didn't make the podium. He had 2 DNFs and missed a race as well. So he really fell out of the title hunt there. It was always going to be another battle for him. I mean, obviously, he always had the pace to actually make inroads and possibly, um, close a bit of a gap down. But with the way T Money and Arrow drove ahead of him, it was damn near impossible. Um, Axon obviously a bit on the back foot early in the season. Did very well by the end, edging out Ginnet. He was on the podium for 7 of 8 races on a streak there. So concluded with his first victory in Singapore. So obviously a lot of really interesting notes about some of these guys' seasons. They had some really nice stretches of races there. Obviously something we were commentating on all the time, but you don't really to simplify it in words like that, you start to go, "Wow, that's damn impressive."
Yeah, when
Um,
you see it in the big
yeah,
picture, kind of all lined up like that, it's something
yeah.
else, definitely.
And obviously, we had 2 really big crashes where neither of us could keep our shit together. Mostly me, though. That was Germany. There was a massive crash coming around. I can't remember what corner
Just
exactly,
the
but it
start
was
of the
just
third sector.
yeah. That right-hander is blind, and I remember Mario just come around and creaming Mosser, and it was just so funny. We were just talking about how Mario was having
Yeah,
such a good race too, and then boom,
yeah.
just out, done.
Big pile up.
And then
Curse of the
Russia,
commentator.
obviously. I
Yeah,
can't remember
curse of
who
the
it was.
commentator.
Was it Wolfsburg trying to go down the inside of Niebuhr, and there just wasn't any space there, and ended up causing a big clusterfuck?
I
Was it?
can't remember who initiated it. It might have been Lit Romney. I know one of them ended up. Um, I don't want to say taking the blame, but one of them admitted
I
to
think
making a
Wolfsburg.
mistake.
I thought it was Wolfsburg. I
Caddy,
think
are
he
you
was
able
saying
to
like,
hop
"Oh,
into
you
the
didn't
stream?
leave me
There you go.
space," and then Niebuhr was kind of like, "No, there is no space there." We looked at it and we were kind of like, "Yeah, there's no space." It looked like it was opening, and then Niebuhr just never really opened the door fully.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously we've pretty much touched on all we needed to for tier two. So what we can do is move on to the league awards. We had the vote starting last night. We gave everybody about 24 hours to vote. Obviously, we've had nominations up for quite a while, so we kind of knew what
Yeah, you get a
what
rough
are we watching
idea
here.
kind of from who's nominated and things like that.
Yeah, are we watching the classic race from the other day?
I'm not.
Ah, so you just put something else up for us for now. Good call. Well, oh, well then,
You did that on your own.
No, yeah, no, we're good. We're good. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
oh, they're just driving. Wait,
So,
Canada, right?
yeah,
yeah. Oh,
we're
okay.
Yeah.
good. Don't worry.
All right, I'm just watching the wrong thing. Anyways,
Yep.
driver of the year. Obviously, we had a vote for. Yeah, no, it was me. I somehow ended up. I guess did the stream. I just backed out of it
No,
somehow, or it
just
ended up on a different stream. That's so weird. I don't know how that happened. I was like, we're watching the classic car race from the other day. What are we doing here? It's freaking my YouTube channel's gone haywire on me here. Anyways, league awards. I mean, Puff, you set them up and you took all the polls. If you want to run through them, you can go right ahead.
Sure. No, I'll run
Unless you
through
want
them
me to
quickly.
announce the first one, just because.
No, I'll go through it.
All right.
I think, what do we have? 8 total or something?
Oh shit! I won something. I didn't even know.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
Um,
damn, son.
so,
Did you
It
beat out
wasn't
Fuzz
worse
for
admin.
shittiest admin?
No, he won it
Ah,
twice.
wait, I
ah.
was going to reveal that at the end. That was the grand finale to the awards. We can
I
Yeah,
thought
touch
you
on it
posted that
again.
already, but that was.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Puff, but at the end of the movie Titanic, it sinks. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Sorry, I dropped my controller. I thought you mentioned that already, but it was our admin chat. So, whoops.
Yeah, it was in another chat. Anyways, we'll go through it quick.
Oh,
Just kind of, like I said, it's a fun thing to just kind of recognize who did well on and off track. Ideally, I would like to give everyone an award, but
Wow, that doesn't make it
I
fun.
don't have the patience for that.
It's too soft.
So, first award, Driver of the Year, self-explanatory. T1 winner was PuffDigital, that is me. Thank you to everyone who voted. I didn't prepare a speech, but, I'd
Hold
like
on,
to thank...
hold on. That's me snapping.
I don't know, what does Lewis
Groovy,
normally say?
man.
I'd like to thank God. I'm truly blessed.
Rise above it.
So,
all right.
Rise above
What's the
it.
music they play when they're taking too long?
Get 'em off
Keep moving,
stage.
keep moving. Come on, come on.
The problem is we let the guy post the awards that's presenting them to himself. He's this narcissist. He's just gonna sit here and talk to himself the whole time.
The other awards don't really matter. No, T2 Arrow, deservedly so. Like I said, on the podium every single race except for one. Not to say there aren't other great drivers in both tiers, but I think giving it to the eventual drivers champion makes the most logical sense. But
Yep.
next, Overtaker of the Year. I don't know if anyone knows the results to these yet.
I don't think
No.
so.
No, all right. Again, self-explanatory. Can you make a move? Can you make it clean? Can you make it stick?
Can you get off?
T1. Yeah, and can you do it often? Obviously, I couldn't win because I was in the lead every race. So it's difficult to
Here we
overtake
go.
people when you're in first.
Kick him from the party chat. We don't need
with that being said, Doth, you did win for T1.
Hey.
Yeah,
Nice.
deservedly so.
Thank you.
You had a great season, and you do have a good racecraft, so it was well earned.
Well, cheers. Thank you.
You have a speech? Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah. Thank you. Let's go to the next one. Keep it moving.
T2, Axton. I think most could agree on that. I think
I just
nice that he gets some recognition. Axton had a.
for
Go ahead.
for me it was like I voted for actually both guys that won, Doth and Axton. Often was fighting with Doth, and I just can't keep him behind me. He'll find a way through, and that was what drove me. Like I was like, he's the only guy I remember that like always found a way through when he caught me. I mean, other than like Puff. So I had no sample size. And then for Axton, I remember watching so many races where he made up places and ended up fighting for podiums, and he didn't even start anywhere near. So,
Yep.
And every time he made a move, and quite often it was on his teammate, and he made it stick. So for me, Axton was a logical choice as well. So yeah, let's move on to the next one.
Defender of the Year again, obvious. Can you defend? Can you defend clean? You make one defensive move and you make it stick. T1, Arebigga, you did it. 2 years
I
in
did
a row.
it, and this is what I have to say about that.
You did it. That's it. You don't want to give a speech.
The speech was a beer.
Cheers, guys! Thanks for the votes.
Cheers.
Actually, I'm actually surprised I won that. Like I know I'm good at defending, but I didn't think I'd get enough votes.
Voters fatigue, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
But no, well deserved. I think all of the nominees were deserving, but obviously there can only be one winner. So congrats. And T2, T Money.
Can someone turn
Yeah.
their audio of the stream down just because I can hear an echo? Or is it the party chat or something? Yeah, like maybe I can hear the party chat coming through the TV or something. But yeah, sorry. T Money was Defender of the Year for T2.
Yeah. Again, I
Um,
think
yeah,
well earned.
I
Uh,
agree.
I really though these ones are tricky because I think there's a number of deserving candidates, but obviously there can only be one winner. So I mean, I wouldn't have been shocked had Arrow won it, honestly, or Axton or Jinnit, or even one of the other drivers who might not necessarily have outright pace, but they're
Yeah,
able to defend in 9th or 10th position.
I just
Quick
remember
shout
T
out,
Money being hounded a lot this year.
yeah,
Like always
quick
being
shout out
hounded by somebody.
to Coxie actually, who received quite a few votes. So not necessarily one of the drivers at the top of the standings, but someone who understands how to defend and does it well from where they are racing. Um, Most improved, awarded to the driver who obviously improves the most throughout the season. For T1, we have Mario again. I don't know if we want to give his origin story, but I believe when he joined us, he said he had just bought the game, wasn't it? Maybe
Mario?
yeah, wasn't it like
Yeah,
a week or
he'd
two
only been
before
playing
he
for a
joined
week or
us?
two. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was in season 1. I believe he actually won last year, and then this year again just continues to kind of get better and get up to pace with everyone else. So he actually had a really solid season in T2. He won this
Yeah.
award for T1, but he had a good amount of points. So congrats, Mario. Well done. You can brag to Coxie about that one. And you guys got a little rivalry going. So
He also
you can
just
talk
took.
that shit.
I know Mario just took delivery of a wheel today, so he'll be all ready to move from controller to wheel starting
Damn
season
it,
3.
Puff. We've gotten left
So
in the dust by Mario now.
he's got to start all over again. So maybe
There
he'll
you
be
go.
up third year in a row, transitioning, getting back up to pace on the wheel. But yeah, congrats, Mario. T2, GP Colin. Obviously, we already highlighted his great drive in Monaco, but another thing that kind of got lost in the T2 review, every race he competed in, and which he completed, he scored points. So, I mean, great consistency. Really drove well all year, and a reliable teammate if he is your teammate, which for one lucky driver he will be next season. So, congrats, GP Colin. Really fantastic season. And we'll move to the next one. Sportsmanship. This one's kind of all-encompassing, not necessarily on track, but as well as in the Discord, just general community members, someone who kind of, I don't know, someone who's, I can't think of the word, a role model maybe?
Just I guess sportsmanship. I mean, like they drive clean, they're respectful.
Yeah.
They're never throwing tantrums. They're never overreacting to things. They're never retaliating, anything like that. I mean, just general class on track. Whether that's
Yeah.
in defending and overtaking, in moving out of the way for blue flags, whatever the case may be.
So,
But both deserving, I think.
yeah, T1, I imagine most Monday drivers can probably guess who won it, but
Was he also the
uh,
least penalized driver in ZOR history?
he might be. I think he might also be the oldest driver we have.
Yeah,
All right.
And, of course, that would be Stig.
legend.
Great community member, honestly. I don't think anyone's ever had any issue with him.
No.
We love having him around. Great guy. I steal his setups pretty frequently, and he's brought me many race wins, so...
Yeah, he's also the tire whisperer.
Also the tire whisperer. So, Stig, congratulations to you. Well earned. I think everyone's happy to see you win that one. And for T2, Wolfsburg Tuner.
Hey.
So,
Nice job.
yeah. Nice to see him get some recognition. I know there was a few instances where he kind of owned up to maybe like a mistake he made or other things like that, but always a respectful community member, drives well. And congrats. Happy for you.
Yeah, and I mean a lot of on-track action this year. There was a lot of times he was driving, you know, reverse strategies, and he was mixed in there with guys that were trying to get by him. And I remember watching him drive very cleanly,
Yep.
defending well. Obviously, like on the back foot on pace compared to some of the guys trying to work their way through, but he was still able to defend against some of them and even fight back and pass them again. I remember him passing a couple of guys, and I was like, "Oh shit, he got by him again!" Like, nice. So, definitely very sportsmanlike of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well earned.
Next up, race of the year. He won. I really wanted Singapore because I won by 50 seconds. It was sick.
Yeah, I would never vote for that one personally because
I don't
I
even
crashed
think it,
into a desynced car in second place and DNF'd.
I don't even
So,
think it was made it to nominations. So
no,
whatever.
I wouldn't
You're all
have
bitter.
suggested it.
But Brazil won. I remember DNFing from that, so I probably forgot most of what happened. But I remember good battle between Bigga and Stig. Fantastic battle between Doff and Arrow.
Yep.
A lot of other good battles throughout the field, I'm sure. Gruesome was actually
Also,
mixed in with you and Stig, Bigga.
I'm,
But go ahead, Doff.
oh yeah, no, it's Arrow. If you're listening, I'm calling you out for a rivalry here. We spent 50 laps between that week between Brazil and the USA, nose to tail. So gonna have to settle this on track. He can't respond because he's driving. So boom, checkmate Doff.
Yeah, Goff wins.
Unfortunately, I think he's got the upper hand. I think he won both of those, but
Is
Whoa, now don't let the facts get in the way of a good story here.
to be honest, though, that was actually your first win of the season, Doff. So
Yeah, I changed the Juan Pablo Montoya picture.
yeah,
For reference, just in 2004, Juan Pablo Montoya took 7 poles and no wins, and I had 4 poles and no wins at like 10 races through. So I was like, I'm gonna change my picture to Montoya until until I win a race.
yeah.
So
Probably best joke of the year. If we had an award for that, I think you would have won because that was a really good
cheers,
running joke. Um,
cheers.
I enjoyed it. I was like, "What's with the Montoya picture?" You explained it, and I was like, "All right, I dig it. I like the way you think, Duff."
So
Obviously, race of the year for Tier Two. I think this was voted as Monaco. Obviously, after hearing about GP Colin and how emotional that race was for him, I think everybody um, understands the magnitude of a race like that and the context of it. Definitely deserving of race of the year for Tier Two. Huge moment. Excellent drive. And I gotta say, it was a lot of fun to watch as well.
yeah. Um, honestly, it's nice to see the rest of the
Community.
league and that tier recognize that as well.
Yeah, because
Very
USA
emotional, and
was a hell
it
of a
takes
race in Tier 2
yeah,
as
it
well.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
Brazil as well, and the pissing down rain and a
Hmm.
fantastic fight for the entire race. But no, it's nice to see everyone kind of recognize that. It takes a lot of courage for GP Colin, to share those
yep,
things with what would typically be considered online strangers. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, well, he doesn't know
um,
us from
yeah,
guy in the
exactly.
street.
It's a really nice gesture, and um, obviously we're really happy
Ah,
to have him race with us and to have him be comfortable enough with us to kind of share those things. So, GB Colin, that one's for you. Fantastic job.
yeah, great stuff. So
Next
I was just looking down for the not the next award, but the one after that. I'm a little disappointed I didn't win that one, but I'll let you go.
you can't get ahead of the order.
I know.
Um,
Let me have a
we've got
rant about it after.
cleanest driver. Um, maybe stepping a bit on sportsmanship, but I do feel they are distinct. This one's strictly on track.
also a
And
fantastic
again,
pass on the stream, Zyg on
Yeah.
Ryan. Just wanted to put that out there.
his teammate, Zyg, you're getting boosted
There you
live.
go.
But yeah, cleanest driver again, I think pretty obvious. The man, the myth. Somehow didn't pick up, I don't think, like, more than 9 seconds in penalties across the entire season.
Probably not.
I think I picked
I don't
up
even
more.
think he got one. I don't remember him getting one ever. I think maybe he
I
got
think
3 seconds one race.
I think in Canada he might have picked up one, but it might have been because it was wet. I'm not sure.
He probably got pushed off or something. It wasn't even
Yes.
probably legit. It was probably legit. Someone ran him off the road or something.
I think I picked up more in USA alone than he had the entire season. So,
Yeah.
Stig, congrats. 2 awards to add to your mantle. Take home to the family. I know.
I'm sure his mom will be super impressed by his awards. Oh, we got a spin there. It's like a Ferrari's gone around.
The toy wheel.
So,
He bugs you about.
Yeah, his toy
Nah.
wheels. That was
Stig,
great.
Stig's story about Christmas really gave me hope for the future. Because he said posted on Christmas he said he hosted Christmas at his house, and he said his 83-year-old mother yelled at him, "You still have your damn toys in the living room?"
with his probably what $600 racing setup.
Yeah.
It's a damn toy.
Exactly.
Leave my toys
He also
alone.
had a couple
Right, so it was
about
not
winning.
not a fight that he was going to win.
Yeah, no. Also had a couple good cracks about winning driver of the day. Just for everyone out there, it's not dork of the day. Unless Big O wins it, then it is. But
Hey, I won it a few times this year, more than you did, I think.
no way. I don't have those numbers up.
Yeah, I don't have those numbers either. I can't.
I
back
won,
that up,
like-
but I was thinking it might be. I definitely had a few. I think I had 3.
I won like 8 races.
But it doesn't mean you were driver of the day every time.
Whatever.
Anyways, yeah, we still have another tier of cleanest driver to discuss.
Cleanest driver for T2 Aero. Honestly, I think Tier 2, again, could have been a number of drivers, but Aero, fantastic, fast. I don't think he had one incident taken to the stewards. Never really picked up penalties either, and that's a big thing to mix. Kind of have that pace and also obey track limits. Something I still need to work on. So, kudos Aero, well deserved. We'll go through. There's only 2 awards left.
Yeah,
The
we'll
last
just
one
get
was
through
kind of
those
spoiled
2.
already, but we'll go back to it because it's my favorite, I think. Before that, though, we have Best Strategist, T1, Doc. You did it.
Hey, nice.
You have
Alright.
any words? Any speech?
Should have been mine. I was gonna say.
No, I don't have much to say, but that wasn't it.
It
No,
should have
it's,
been big as Doth was gonna say, but
yeah, no,
Eric
it's
said it.
it's
My soul's thunder.
before the races. Sometimes they'll do a practice race with Zyg or Mario. We'll nail down the strategy. You know, we'll run a couple different strategies and then inevitably screw them all up and hope that it works at the race. So that's it. We're just gonna keep doing that, I guess.
Congrats. It could have been close. I mean, I think I
must
voted
have
for
been there.
Bigga, but it was mostly because he just nagged me all the time about how great his strategy is.
Bullshit.
So I
Bullshit.
had to give him a little pity vote.
I ran like the most excellent strategy in Austria. It was so good.
One race does not make best strategist. I will
But it's
say
not like
that.
I did it once. I mean, that
No.
was excellent.
Hey, you know what?
Best strategy of the year.
You got a campaign next year.
Well, fine, I'll campaign. Next year is probably gonna be a disaster for me. So there's no way.
That's
I'm
not
gonna
what I
do
want
this
to
well.
hear.
Well, maybe you don't get disconnected in race 2, and maybe don't give me a win in China, and then all of a sudden you can just carry the team again like you were supposed to.
I did carry the team. Can we get the tier 1 standings up there again? Does anyone want to see the difference in points? About who
No, it's
carried
fine. We can move on. Shittiest admin. That's a great.
No,
award.
wait. T2, best strategist.
Oh, we didn't do T2. I thought we got him. Sorry.
Chin Congrats.
Hey.
mate. Arebigga tried to steal your shine there. He was so upset about not
Yeah.
winning, but I think
Stupid
well
award,
deserved.
anyway.
Stupid awards. No, don't listen
Yeah,
to
Caddy
him.
always mentioned on stream how Jinnit would run, like, was a big fan of the reverse strategy. He'd always, and like,
Yeah.
he'd qualify well too on the harder tire, where I'd see like, okay, you look down and you're like, the first 4 runners are on softs, and then Jinnit's in 5th on mediums, and then the next 3 are on softs, and you're like, well, fuck.
Put the standings up. You bastard. Why did you do that?
Yeah, the standings did show up, just so everyone can see. What are the points? 324. Where's Bigga down there? 178. tough to say who really carried the team, but
I mean, without me.
Jinnit, congrats. You really did run good strategies. You're fast
All
as
right.
hell, which definitely makes it easier, but really well done. Finally, last and best award,
Definitely
I
least.
think.
No, definitely
Um,
least. The only award
Definitely
he's won
least.
tonight, actually, which is probably really
Fuzz,
depressing for him.
I know you wanted your time, your airtime. You've really earned this one, I will say. Shittiest admin, tier 1 and tier 2. You won both.
Yeah.
Some said it couldn't be done. I do want to say I always believed in you. I've known you were shit from the start. I never doubted how shit you were once. Um, Big congratulations. You nailed it, bud. We look forward to that again next
I can't
season.
wait to hear his acceptance speech, honestly.
Yeah, you know what?
And and he has a valid defense too, because like he's not involved with this podcast, and yet it took us 15 minutes to get it up. So
yeah.
Yeah.
he like can't defend
Well, that's how
himself.
bad he is. Like, he's not even here, and we nearly threw the whole thing into the trash. Like, that's how bad it is.
So
He does do a lot of
So,
work, though. I will say,
no,
but
no, no.
yeah, no, everybody does.
he
That's
likes
why it
to
works.
talk shit. So here's his
Ah.
recognition. Yeah, and there he is in the chat. You just gotta believe in yourself. That's right, Buzz. Chin up, buddy. You
All
know what? I
right.
think you could even win next year.
So, Caddy, if you would like to do us the honors, we are going to move on to the rosters now for the upcoming
Wait,
season.
do we want
Are
to do
we?
race schedule first?
Oh, are we doing the race schedule first?
It's up to you, I guess. Actually, I don't.
I thought
think it makes
the
much of a
order on the
difference.
list there was.
I think the schedule will work well because after we do rosters, we can go right into the preview.
True. Okay, so race schedule then, Caddy. If you want to shoot that up onto the screen,
We
we'll
need
get
some
up
dramatic music or
the
something.
tier one calendar. We'll put the tier one calendar up first. Leave that for a minute or two, then we'll put the tier two calendar up.
The
I don't
exact,
think.
exact same.
Yeah,
So-
they're the same, just off a few days, so it's not really necessary to
Yeah, true.
show one or the other, really.
And obviously we'll post these in the Discord later, like
Yep.
that way everybody can see them.
And Instagram. Don't forget to check
Yeah.
out Zenith Online Racing at Instagram.
Yeah. So
There we go.
There it is. Brand new, completely random.
completely random.
Well,
We tweaked a couple
We
things.
tweaked
Like
a
there was a
bit.
couple things we tweaked just to make it a little more, just a little more logistically.
I think
Certain
actually,
tracks bumped right into each other. It was kind of odd. So I think we moved. I think we
Yeah.
also decided we wanted to end the season on Brazil, so we moved that, right?
yeah, I think Brazil and Russia might have been the only one we switched. Was we obviously got Brazil
Well,
to last.
the randomization is it worked out quite well actually. It did a really good job for us here. So this is our tier one calendar. Obviously, this will be the first race you guys are going to see every week. Upcoming this season. Obviously, next week is our first race, and that'll be in Britain. That's the 13th of January. Tier 2 is
Silverstone.
always 3 days later. Silverstone, yep. That's going to be a really good first race. So our second race of the year is Hungary. Then we've got Italy, followed by Monaco. So still really early in the season for Monaco. Probably
Yep.
something everybody's quite thankful for, so that it's not a
Season deciding
one of those
race.
pressure races. Yeah. So fifth we go to China. Then we go to Japan, staying on that side of the world. Then we're going to fly to the Middle East to Abu Dhabi. Then we've got Spain 8th, Belgium 9th, Mexico 10th. Then we're going to take a little break in March break. Bahrain is the 11th race of the season, followed by Canada and then Singapore, and USA and Germany following Singapore. Then we've got Baku and Australia right near the end of the season. Usually races that we see at the start of the year are going to be at the end of the year for this schedule. Then we're going to have France, Austria, Russia, and Brazil to end the season. That's a really nice stretch of races there, actually. France, Austria, Russia, Brazil. That's going to be really fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
I was going to be my first question to you guys. You see any stretch there you like? You're particularly looking forward to?
Belgium, Mexico, Bahrain, Canada. Woof, that's a nice one too.
Yeah, that's 3 wins for Doth in 4 races right there. I'm pretty pumped.
You will not beat me at Bahrain, so I guess that's the one you take out.
Exactly. Exactly. I could, I might go on a smoke break for that one. I'd score the same number of points.
Which race was that? Sorry.
You saying Belgium through Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually really like that stretch from Belgium to. I don't know. I like the schedule. I guess the biggest lull for me would be. I don't know. Actually, there's not much. The only tracks I.
The start's a little off.
Dislike.
The start of the season's a little rough. Hungary, Monaco,
Yeah, Hungary,
Italy.
Monza, Monaco are not tracks I particularly enjoy, but
No.
China and Japan, both favorites of mine. Abu Dhabi, Spain, maybe a little bit weak in terms of overtaking, but no, I think it's got good balance, and I do really like ending the season in Brazil.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be fun.
Especially if we can get down, or if the title in either Monday or Thursday comes down to Brazil, we can reenact our own classic races, create some history in ZOR.
Yeah, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a really fun season. I like the idea of the mixed up schedule. At first, I was a little opposed to it. I was like, come on, let's scroll through the calendar. We just did a full season. Now, it makes sense to do the same races in the same distance, but there's also good balance there. I mean, we're starting with Britain, Hungary, Italy, Monaco, China. Like, those are races we haven't done for a few months anyways. So,
yeah,
it's not like we're jumping right into a race we just did last week or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm totally fine with that.
And I was in favor. I will say I don't mind just breaking up the traditional schedule. Part of the beauty of racing different. Online is we're not actually flying to any of these places, so a bit easier to travel from Bahrain to, say, Canada in a week than it is in real life. We don't have to consider any of those things. And
yeah, exactly.
We could always make a return next season to the traditional schedule, but
yeah, I like the mixed up one though. I think it'll be easy to carry on with it like that in the future. Now that we've established it, and yeah, it definitely is some good balance. So hopefully everybody that's just found out that is the schedule for the season is pretty excited about it. I think starting in Britain's going to be really fun. Silverstone to start the season is going to be a hell of a race. Who knows what could happen? We've always had really good racing at Silverstone. Moving on, though, as we mentioned before, we're going to get into the rosters now. We've shown the race schedule, so what we'll do is we'll bring up the Tier 1 roster first. We will show you the new teams. Some drivers have new teammates. Some drivers are now in different cars. It's a little bit different from last season, but mostly the same. I think most guys stuck with what they were familiar with for the most part. And once that pops up on the screen here, we'll go over that for you guys. And pretty exciting. A lot of guys don't know who their teammate is. I think most guys in Tier 1 probably know because I don't think much changed, but Tier 2 is really mixed up from what we saw.
Tier 2 is a lot different.
So Tier 2 is, a lot of the guys in Tier 2 are waiting because they're like, who's my teammate? I don't even know yet, which is going to be really exciting, I think.
Well, I mean, even
good
Tier
side-by-side here, too.
Yeah, they're waiting for confirmation. Yeah, it's been a hell of a race. Team Money made a great move into the hairpin earlier. I believe it was the hairpin. So, we've got it on the screen now. Caddy, thank you very much.
And again, huge ups to RC for really putting in all the legwork for these graphics and stuff. They look fantastic.
They do. You can see there's actual photos of us in the background. I believe that's Bigga, because my helmet's not that ugly. Diving in the Red Bull there. Really nice shot, though. You want to take us through it, Bigga?
Yeah, I'll take us through it. So obviously we've got me and Puff returning, the Constructors Champions, the Drivers Champion, PuffDigital, defending champions, for both of us here. I have less to lose than you, but still something to lose. So PuffDigital, Arebigga stay in the Red Bull. Gruesome Car and Ryan are staying in the Haas, so that team hasn't changed. Doth is moving to the Ferrari, and they've also replaced both crummy drivers that they had, and now have Zyg as the second driver at Ferrari. So Doth and Zyg team up in the Ferrari. RC and Fuzz have jumped ship to McLaren. They stuck together as teammates. Definitely always a threat. We
disastrous
thought,
season in Ferrari, the Ferrari
yeah,
curse.
we really did think that they were going to be. We thought they were
Serious
the serious
threats.
contenders for the constructors, and it just never really came about. Like I overachieved this year, obviously, and it helped us move up the table as a team. But it's surprising that RC and Fuzz weren't right on our tails. They were for some parts of the year, but towards the end, it was out of reach. We've got Zamoglis and Jinnit teaming up, so that's a really strong team as well. We know Zamoglis has pace. He has race-winning pace. He's been up there fighting for wins already. Jinnit is capable of winning races, and that's a very strong team there. So they have decided to combine their powers in the Toro Rosso.
Our
So
little
they're going to
sister
be,
team, little
yeah,
baby Toro Rossos.
they're definitely gunning for our seats. So we got to keep them behind us.
Know your roles,
Um,
guys.
yeah,
Christian's
stay
not going to
happy.
be happy if you don't let me through. So remember that.
Yeah.
Out of the
In
way.
the Renault, we have the former McLaren drivers, Stig and Brent, sticking together as a team. They are a good team. We've got youthful adrenaline and veteran craft teamed up once again, but this time for the Renaults. We've got the Racing Point drivers, Harry Hotspur, and a new driver for us. He was reserving with us, but he is very quick. JFD 44, also known as Mr. Joshua. So JFD and Harry Hotspur is a very strong team too. As we saw, Harry Hotspur in Tier 2 had a very strong season in Tier 2. Definitely in Tier 1 towards the end of the year, he was getting quite strong as well. So Harry and Joshua are also a formidable team. Maybe dark horse candidates for a top 3 finish as constructors, but obviously they do have some serious competition up above them there. Josh Josherson in the Alfa Romeo with Mario. Mario, obviously, our most improved driver for the last 2 seasons. Josh Josherson has pretty good pace as well. So those guys could definitely be scoring some serious points through the season. We could definitely see them putting the Alpha on the board quite often. Just behind them, we have Prince Ali and Destroyer, another new driver who you've probably seen reserving with us over the last few weeks. They've teamed up in the Mercedes for this season. And then we've got Zoink Zazu and Sam M226 teaming up to take the final seats on the grid in the Williams. Both those drivers, Zoink's consistent, not the quickest guy out there, but super clean, super respectful. Definitely, I think he was nominated for the Sportsmanship Award, and rightfully so, because he's never given anyone a hard time out there, ever. And then Sam,
Oh, he was nominated for a few. Sorry, not to
yeah,
interject. But yeah, Sonic's
yep,
valued community member.
yeah, for sure.
Your spotlight
And then
here.
Sam as well. Pretty quick driver, a little inconsistent, a little rough around the edges at times, but Sam's definitely capable of scoring good points. I do believe he did win the race in Bahrain our first season, right? He's been here since the start.
He's been here since the beginning, so another VOR veteran. Love to have him back again for next year. So I'm not gonna lie.
So
I'm sorry, just to
go ahead.
Final thoughts on the Tier 1 roster. I'm very excited for the upcoming season.
Yeah, same here.
There'll be great competition throughout the entire field.
Yeah, those teams are so well balanced, and
yeah,
all these guys get along so well. It's going to be a hell of a season.
How do you feel inheriting the Ferrari curse?
Well, seeing as I'm currently pulling a Paul DiResta and I'm actually on track right now as we're chatting, pretty good.
Are you up there? Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in fourth. Yeah? I'm in fourth.
I thought he was being a little quiet. He was pulling strings behind the scenes, eh?
The question I want the answer to, more than any other for this next season coming forward, is: are we going to see the promised Brent Crystal Shuey from Hungary? When he was driver of the day.
Oh, massive crash! Sorry.
The number one.
Brent, yeah. Consider this your challenge, live on the podcast. The internet remembers.
He's also right behind me on track right now, so if I get drilled going into Lace Combs, you guys know why.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Caddy, if you want to pop up the Tier 2 roster, Puff, I'll let you go through the Tier 2 roster if you want.
Awesome.
I need to wet my throat a little bit there. It's getting a little dry and feeling a little parched.
a little parched. So, we'll wait for that to come on board. In the meantime, we watched Doth drive around track in the Williams.
While still here.
I'm trying to think of other good storylines for next season. Obviously, the big one would be Jeanette making the move to Monday night. He's shown he has a serious title contender. Honestly,
Going
I'm not
from
scared of
SmackDown to
anyone.
Raw.
Yeah, I'm not scared of anyone. I'll win again. But
There
it's
it
fun
is.
to create these stories so everyone thinks they have a chance. There we go. On screen now. Breaking news. Everyone, pay attention.
Breaking news.
Tier 2 roster. Here it is. We'll go through quick, and then we'll do a little bit of a final thoughts on it. In the Toro Rosso, Arrow, our defending champion, teams up with Wolfsburg Tuner. So, new teammate. Obviously, this year we've tried to limit the amount of crossover between Monday and Thursday, just to create two distinct tiers, give more people to drive, things like that. So, Mario no longer on Thursday, and so Arrow now with Wolfsburg. In the Red Bull, T-Money all day, and Axton 118, teammates from last year, Constructors champions from last year. They've decided to take their talents to Red Bull. Gunther Steiner somewhere is very infuriated, I'm sure, but, you know, probably didn't offer enough money. In the Ferrari, another very solid team, GP Colin and Pace Dogs. You know what, actually, I think Pace Dogs, I had mentioned earlier GP Colin in the points every race that he completed. Pace Dogs was similar. I think every single race that he completed, he was in the points. So, very strong team. Definite podium potential, race win potential. Excited to see what they can do next year. In the Mercedes, actually, I think my favorite team of the year, Brian Mosser and Niebuhr. Niebuhr, notorious pain in the ass, somehow got a good drive in the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Color me surprised. A lot of responsibility, Niebuhr. I know you'll let us down.
Yeah, Brian Mosser's teammate. Brian Mosser's teammate went MIA last year, so he's really hoping that his teammate this year can actually help him out by scoring some points. Niebuhr.
In all honesty, though, I like the team. I really do. In the Mercedes, you guys will look good. It's exciting.
Another great team, actually, just below them.
Yeah, Renault, UK Coxey, he joined us about midway through the season. Like I said, he did get some recognition for Defender of the Year. I think his biggest issue going into next year will be that consistency, making sure he actually finishes races, because he does have the capability to score points, and I think if he's keeping it on track, if things go his way, he is a potential podium driver. So, I like the start of that team. And then Electric Chicken, fantastic name. Relatively new driver, competed with us in a few races at the end of the season as a reserve.
Pretty good pace, though.
Good pace. Very funny guy as well. A walking
strong
meme,
selfie game in the
strong selfie game.
Yeah, in the Discord.
He idolizes Doth as well. That's another thing to mention. Doth
clear like
weighing in. So a really solid team in the Renault. I do like that team quite a bit. Excited to see what they can do. In the Racing Point, we have Burns. Solid points finisher. I think he missed a few races at the end. The holidays, they do that to everyone. And Dub 49ers, again, another solid driver. Looking to hopefully build off of last season, score some points, and just see some improvement. Another team that I'm excited to see. In the Haas, we have Lip Romney, aka Alaskan Dad. He's not a dad, and he's not from Alaska, but we like him anyways. Joined with us, I can't remember exactly when, maybe halfway through, maybe a bit after halfway.
Yeah, it was a little more towards 3/4 point, I think.
Yeah. Again, another great driver. Love to have him with us. And again, he'll be looking to build off off of his rookie season. Teamed with It's Eric, who's a new driver for us. We found him at the end of our season again. You've probably seen him if you've watched our streams, anything like that. So, solid pace again, I think. It'll be really interesting to see because I don't think I've really got a good grasp on necessarily where everyone is pace-wise. So,
No, it's going to be a really interesting season, actually. We have a lot of new
yeah,
drivers in the mix
part
here.
of a sort of finding out process for everyone. In the Williams, we have Hans. Shoney's had a good pace. I think, again, teamed up with Terminal Davey. I think that could actually be a really strong team in the Williams. Hans Shoney's had pace, as has Terminal Davey, who I believe has previous league experience, so this won't be anything new to him, which is a big thing driving in a league. The McLaren, we have Bobby Tava, another new driver, and our very own Caddy Damas, who's been having a bit of technical difficulties tonight. He was supposed to be a part of this. He's been fantastic with the graphics, but you know him as the voice of ZOR Monday, and now he will be driving on Thursday, so very excited to see what he can do on track. Happy he's driving with us, and he'll be representing McLaren. Finally, last team, Alfa Romeo. We have No Jersey and JXW __ Gaming. Our two newest drivers, I believe they would be. Maybe not necessarily chronologically, I can't quite remember.
I think No Jersey's been around a little longer than Terminal Davey, but I can't remember exactly.
But a lot of unknowns. It's
Yeah.
hard to make out, aside from the first 5 teams, really, where everything's going to play out this season. So a lot of excitement, a lot of just sleeper potential, a lot of dark horse potential, a lot of reason to tune in on Thursday and figure out where everyone's going to sort out.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun calling the season, I think.
Yeah.
Tier 2 here, just with so many unknowns. I mean, you basically look at your top 6. We know these guys, they've been with us for some time. We know the pace that these top 3 teams have. But you move down the order a little bit. You've got Brian and Niebuhr. Then you've got Coxie, Electric Chicken, Burns, Dub 49ers. I mean, we don't know what kind of pace a guy like Electric Chicken is going to have for the length of a season. Like, is he going to be a consistent point scorer? Is he going to be someone who's in a good spot but loses it? Dub 49ers, like these guys, Dub 49ers, Burns, Lit Romney, these guys were all sort of on the cusp of points all season, sort of hang around that like 10th to 13th place. And now with, these top guys, like someone like Jinnet's moved on, so now there's another position up the grid that you can go and chase now, right? So it's going to be really interesting to see where all these new drivers fit in. Like, where are they in pace?
Yeah.
Are they the best of the rest? Are they someone who's going to push the top guys? Are they going to be putting
They're
around
going
at
to
the
fight for
back looking for
podium.
pace?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know.
And it's a very different animal when you're racing 50% races. There's no flashbacks. You make a mistake, and you're living with that mistake. You know what I mean? So
Yep, exactly.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what happens in T2. A lot more unpredictability. I'm sure we'll see the usual suspects on the podium. We've grown very accustomed to Aero, T-Money, Axton, Pace Dogs, GP Colin, all the usual suspects, but I'm curious to see who of the new guys will work their way into that mix and fight for points and podiums.
Yep, I think we've pretty much touched on everything that we need to touch on tonight at this point. We've done the preview.
Do we want to do a bit of a... Actually, I don't know. I think, yeah, for the most part, we've covered everything. Is there any rivalries you want to pick up on?
Well, obviously, we've got a rivalry.
Do you want to do bold predictions?
Yeah, okay, so let's do some rivalry stuff. We got one more race, I think, here. The guys are going to do one more race for us, so we'll try to get this done in the next 5 to 6 minutes. What rivalries? Obviously, we've got a rivalry between you and Gruesome that's 3 seasons old. 2 seasons old now, but this will be the 3rd season of it. So Puff and Gruesome will be something to watch all year. Jinnit now joins Monday. Yeah, go ahead.
1 minute.
So Jinnit joins Monday night. He's teaming up with Zem. They're serious threats for the constructors. Jinnit's a threat for the title. So that's something to keep an eye on. I mean, we've got a rivalry here between Puff and Gruesome. They've always been our sort of top 2 guys, the guys that everyone's chasing in Tier 1. But now we've got more guys that can chase them. We've got Jinnik is capable. JFD is pretty fast. Zem as well as race winning pace. Doth obviously is his form has really come on towards the end of this season in Tier 1. So now moving into the new season, if he can carry on with that form, he's the threat for the title. This Tier 1 could be very, very exciting this year. It could be a little bit of a break in the tradition of what we've seen. We've seen the last 2 years Puff dominating, Puff winning most races, and I'd put my money on Puff, obviously. I know how hard he works, and I know how much he cares about winning. Like, he seriously
So much
bothers
so
him
that
if
he's
he's not
not on
winning.
Tinder.
Yeah, so much. Yeah, he doesn't even bother. But when he is not winning, he gets very disappointed. Like, I am always in a party chat with him, and we'll sometimes keep it diplomatic on the stream. But once we go off the air, if he's not happy, I'll hear about it. So I know how competitive he is, and I don't think anybody should think that they're going to come in here and beat Puff this year. Because if you are beating him, he's going to work even harder. So we've created a monster. The dark horse constructor threat, as I mentioned, Harry and JFD, very good drivers. Puff has written that down as a note for us to discuss, but it's something that I picked up on as soon as I saw those two combined as a team. They're both very good drivers. JFD is very fast. Harry's very fast and consistent.
Guys, this looked.
I don't know how consistent
back.
JFD is, but
What did I miss?
not much. We're just moving on to T2 now. Can Arrow and Wolfsburg challenge Axon and T-Money to win the Constructors title? Even though it's a different team, they are still the champions. And
They've
can
got
T-Money...
4 more races.
4 more? I'll
Yeah.
just let them go then.
No. Well, I mean, when we're done, we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah, we'll end the broadcast when it's
Yeah.
done, and we'll just jump in and race.
That's all.
Yeah, why not?
Why?
Actually, I'm probably going to have to stop. I think I need to just go troll for a bit. But so T-Money challenge Arrow for the title. I think he's perfectly capable. I mean, he was there all season long. It was only towards the final few races of the year that we saw him finally, kind of lose touch with the chances at winning the title. I think realistically, we always knew Arrow, if he shows up, was going to be able to score enough points to keep people at bay, anyways. But
Yeah. It's going to take a valiant effort.
in terms of who am I looking at in terms of big improvements? That's a great question, actually. For T2, I think Brian Mosser. I think Brian Mosser is a pretty quick driver. I think he just seems to get tangled up in a lot of incidents, and he's made some mistakes and stuff, and he didn't have a very good season overall, but he's got some pace. So if he can kind of nail that consistency down and keep his feet from getting tangled up with other drivers, I think Brian Mosser could have a really good year. So that's kind of my dark horse candidate for who might have a surprising season. Just depends on how he goes out on track and what kind of mindset he carries into every race. So we'll have to see how that pans out.
To add another one to the list, Coxie, I think I mentioned some of it earlier, but there's that consistency of finishing races, keeping it on track, I think very important. And if he's able to do that, I think he can become a consistent point scorer.
Yeah.
I think he'll see a big improvement over last year. So
here's my bold prediction for Tier 1. And this is pretty bold.
All right.
Mario's had some good finishes in Tier 2, but he hasn't had that many great finishes in Tier 1. So, given the fact that Tier 1's gotten a little more competitive this year as well, it's going to be harder for Mario to do this, but I think Mario will get the top 5 finish this year.
In the Drivers' Championship?
No. In a race. He'll finish top 5 in one of the races. Like, one of the races we hold one night, Mario will finish in the top 5.
Okay. I can see that.
I think it's bold, but it's not unrealistic,
Yeah. Trying to think of bold predictions. T1. I don't know if you touched on...
Red Bull is not going to win the Constructors' Championship.
That's not bold.
You're dreaming, bud. We're winning by a fucking...
I didn't say it was going to be Ferrari. I just said it wasn't going to be Red Bull.
No, I'm not saying it's Ferrari either. I'm saying we're winning again.
I'm saying you're dreaming that you think we're not going to win.
It's going to be easy.
I mean, you heard it here. This is one of hashtag Dot's hot takes right here.
Hashtag DOS hot takes.
Hashtag.
I don't think that's a hashtag.
Not to be confused with .fax.
Hashtag.
I don't think anybody gets them confused. No one knows. No one knows what you're talking about.
My hot take: Ferrari, 5th in the constructors.
Whoa.
Ooh.
You listening, Zag?
Don't
Behind
get Zog motivated. He's my direct rival.
Haas rather, McLaren, and Toro Rosso, and Racing Point, my sneaky dark horse team of the year. I think Harry and JFD can do a lot of damage.
Aren't they Alpha?
Are they? No. I have the graphic
Harry
up.
JFD.
Alpha is Josherson and Mario.
See, that was one of the teams I was saying will be dark horse. Like, they could score some good points to those two drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if you discussed big improvements for T1, but I think Ali definitely has to be in that conversation. He missed a large portion of the season this year. He was moving work, things like that. But he came back. He's shown he has good racecraft, and I think he could definitely have some surprising results and definitely improved quite a bit over last season.
He definitely could have a very good season in Tier 1, especially if he's there every race for sure. Because every race he did show up, he managed to get a point or two.
Yep. And I think Brent really due for a big improvement.
Brent's also due for a shoey.
Due for a shoey and a big improvement.
Due for a
he had a
shoey.
few,
I know he drove in a lot of hard luck last season. He had a couple of lap one crashes that weren't his fault, but it still ends your race.
Yep.
So some of that, if a little bit of that luck turns around, I think he had a very different season, and this is a very different conversation.
Yeah, definitely. Which could also definitely help propel Renault up the standings. So yeah, those would be my two for big improvements.
Something that we should just touch on, just quickly before we start to wrap things up here, is Brent is from Australia. Obviously, everybody in the world is talking about what's going on in Australia right now with climate change and whatnot, and obviously we're dealing with a bit of an issue there, and it's a serious emergency now. It's not just a couple fires, like I think it's 50% of the country, I think, and billions of wildlife are being displaced and killed from these fires. So it's obviously something that is it's close to Brent, especially. It's his home country. Something that he's very, I think he is planning or has shared something with us so that we can maybe help out in somehow. So if you guys are listening now, let's keep an eye out on the Discord for that, and we'll do what we can to help him out.
Go ahead.
Just because you're racing, I have the announcement you had made up in front of me here.
Courtesy of Brent, by the way.
Courtesy of Brent. But I'll just read it off here. Hey guys, as many of you know, there are currently bushfires that are tearing across Australia, some for over 2 months. More than 6 million hectares of land have been scorched, 22 lives lost, more than 500 million wildlife have been killed, and 1,500 homes lost. Just to kind of give everyone an idea. If there's any way that you can donate, as small as it may be, please donate to the Red Cross to help the victims of this fire get back on their feet, as it is going to be an incredibly long and tough process. If you'd like to donate, please follow the link. Obviously, the link is posted in our Discord, but for anyone listening, it's fundraise.redcross.org.au/DRR. Just one more time quickly, fundraise.redcross.org.au/DRR. To build off of what Brent has been saying and what everyone else has been saying, anything helps. It really does. It's true.
And I mean, there's plenty of ways you can help as well. There's other organizations you can donate to. I know a lot of people mention the Red Cross as not being the best organizations to donate to during disaster relief. So if there's something that you prefer and something that works, that you believe works better, just do something. $5. I don't have $5. I have a hard time convincing myself to spend $5 on a coffee and a bagel in the morning. But that's $5 that you can live without. That if everybody actually pools together, can actually make a difference. So it's not, you're not asking someone to shell out their life savings. It's a small donation, and if everybody made a small donation to something worthwhile, then we actually could make a difference. So, just something we wanted to touch on and mention before we started to wrap things up tonight. Obviously, not the fun, lighthearted note that we've had most of the night. It's a very serious situation. It's very upsetting, and obviously, I know that personally in the past there's been we had some pretty serious fires out west here in Canada a few years ago, and it was something that I didn't. I donated and I shared it on my social media. There was nothing massive or substantial that I did, but those little things do help, and if everybody can pitch in a little bit, it does help. So I can only imagine the situation now, it being your home country. It's not something that
Yeah, and just to build off what you're saying, I think the worst thing is to think that your actions don't have an impact or that you can't make a difference or anything like that. There's a lot of things that every one of us can do as individuals, which...
Yeah, exactly. Even just talking about it, even if you can't donate, just mention it, bring it up, say something.
Yeah.
Just to address the fact that it is a serious issue. But on that note, I think we should work on wrapping things up here. I think Caddy's moved on to, sounds like he's playing Wheel of Fortune
Lottery.
or something. Yeah. Did you get can you buy a vowel, Caddy? I was wondering if he was still paying attention or not at this point. He hasn't said anything for about an hour.
Very
Your
much
audio's not
appreciated,
broadcasting?
though. You've been on point with the graphics, everything.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for everyone listening, you've missed out on Addie's wonderful voice. But he has been a big part of making tonight what it was.
But yeah, let's wrap things up. Caddy, do you want to pop that race schedule back up there just one more time, just so we can have that on the screen as we close off the broadcast? This has been the season review and preview. We've gone over the teams, we've gone over the roster, we've gone over the race schedule. So now everything's out there in the open. Everybody can talk about it. Everybody can get excited. Everybody can yell at us. Everybody can get upset, they can complain, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully everybody's just excited. But I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know this has gone a little bit longer than we hoped for. Obviously, we had some technical issues at the start that kind of delayed us a little bit, but I've honestly had a good time talking about everything tonight. It was kind of nice to take a step back and look at where we've come from and where we're going, and you see, the effort we're putting in here, and it's about quality, really. We don't want to have 8 divisions that we can't manage. I'd rather have 2 that are managed well. So you see, there's the calendar for the next season. So we've got next week, Tier 1. We're starting in Britain on the 13th of January.
Start of the season.
Sorry?
Is it the start of the season?
Start of the season in Britain, Silverstone. And then on January 16th, we'll have Tier 2. So Puff and I will be there for the call on Tier 2. Maybe at least maybe next week, but it might just be me for the next little while. Puff might not be able to carry on commentating on Thursday, which would be a shame, but I'm sure we can find a suitable replacement, or I can just carry the show myself, which would be great for my ego. But no, and then Monday night next week, so a week from now, 8 p.m., you tune in, you'll have Kadi Damas hosting the British Grand Prix, and that'll be Zenith Online Racing in Tier 1. I am Arebigga. I am signing off. I will pass the torch to PuffDigital.
I am PuffDigital, and I will be the Season 3 champion.
Ooh, there's a bold prediction last minute.
Let everyone know.
And
now,
then obviously...
get your hopes up. I'm going to win.
My God, somebody beat him, for Christ's sakes.
Fuzz.
Yeah. And
please.
Yeah, no. Between Fuzz and I, we'll take care of it. So.
Get it. Your shit too.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. I actually have to run, so I'll get you guys later.
All right, Doc. Thanks.
All right. See you, Doc.
Thanks for stopping in. And then, of course, last but not least, Kadi Damas, who is the new Tier 1 commentator since Jinnit will be taking over as a driver in Tier 1. I completely forgot that nobody could hear Kadi. I don't understand how that happened.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
It might just be that audio sharing thing, but it's weird because when you host the streams, everyone can hear you. That's what's odd. So it might be a party thing, maybe. But yeah. Anyways, next week you'll be able to hear Kadi Damas for real,
And you'll be
and
able to see him race on Thursday.
you will be
So
able to see him race next Thursday as
keep an
well.
eye out for him.
And so it's a fresh season. It's a clean slate. We're starting with Silverstone next week. Let's see what Puff can do. Let's see what Puff can do in the first race of the season. Let's see if he can
Title defense.
make a statement on his
It
title
begins.
defense, because the beginning of last year was a little rough. So hopefully
I won-
not a repeat of last season.
I won Silverstone last season though, so hopefully
Yeah, but now we got Jinnit.
similar
It's his home
fortunes.
race.
His home Grand Prix to start off.
Grand Prix to start the season and his debut in Tier 1. I'm sure he's extremely excited about that.
I'm sure he's very nervous. He'll probably make a mistake.
Yeah, hopefully. Anyways,
Buzz cracked
thanks for
it
tuning in,
into
everybody. We're going to wrap this thing up. We've gone on far too long.
Way too
The
long.
producer's looking at me, waving his hand at his neck. Cut it out. It's done. The
We're
producer's
over.
actually my cat. He's pissed. He wants me to cuddle him. So we've only got 10 guys left right now in the lobby. So I think what we're going to do is wrap this broadcast up. We're going to thank everybody for tuning in once again. Next week, we're going to start the season. We're going to do a full season here. We're going to have 1 week with a break. And hopefully that will take us right into the release of the next F1 game. So thanks everybody for tuning in for our season review and preview. And our roster reveal, our race schedule reveal. I hope it's entertaining. Sorry about
It's been
the
a lot
beginning.
of fun. It's been seriously a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has.
So-
It has been a lot of fun doing this all year and broadcasting it and doing this little podcasting was pretty fun. And thank you guys for showing up to race tonight to give us something to watch while we talk, because it definitely would have got a little boring if we were just looking at a blank screen, I think. Cheers to Caddy for popping in and running the graphics tonight. Like he said, but you wouldn't have heard him say, you can't hear him. But he is very grateful that you tuned in, and he's excited to see you next week for the race, where he'll have more cool graphics to share with you.
He also said I'm going to win Tier 1, so...
He didn't say that, guys. He actually didn't say that. Plus making that up. But thanks everybody. So
Yeah,
feel
thanks,
free to
guys.
wrap that up, Caddy.